Welcome to the first video in the weathered stone and oak finishing techniques by Artistry and Crafts. Copyright 2010. This first photo shows a piece finished in the weathered oak technique. This is our Fat Cat paperweight. The next photo is of our Shire paperweight finished in natural stone. These two techniques are very similar. Here we have the raw casting. For these techniques, you will need to buy the more porous castings. You're using mini wax golden oak stain, a large bristle brush, and a quick dabbing motion to apply the stain. Because the porosity of the piece will absorb the stain in different rates, you will end up with a variated finish. By applying several different layers of the paint in succession, you will end up with an easy-to-do finish that is very possible for children, Cub Scout members, etc., to end up with a nice Mother's Day or Father's Day present. You do not have to worry about going over the same area twice. This first coat is just a quick rendition of the method. Please be sure to wear latex gloves, as the oil-based stain will permeate your flesh and is next to impossible to get rid of. The main time involved in finishing the castings with this technique is the drying time. Here we are taking the Shire paperweight and giving it the same basic treatment. Again, don't worry about overlapping areas more than once. This first coat will get quickly absorbed, and it will take at least 4 to 6 coats for the technique that you're trying to do. As subsequent coats are applied to the piece, less and less will be absorbed by the casting. As you can see how quickly the shiny liquid becomes a dull matte finish, this shows how rapidly it's being absorbed by the casting. Once you've reached the 4th and 5th layers of stain, you will find areas will retain their shine longer. When your piece reaches this stage, then you have the decision: do you keep going to end up with a varnished wood effect, or do you stop and treat the method for the natural stone technique? But up till that point, your item can be finished in either fashion. As you can tell, the stain is very liquid, and because of the porosity of the piece, it is rapidly absorbed and leaves just a very, very thin finish. This is wonderful for not obscuring the original detail of the sculpture. All of our faux techniques are done directly onto the raw casting without an in-between step of applying a primer, because we're using the absorption properties of the casting to add to the technique. If you're wanting to paint the piece in a realistic fashion, you would probably prefer to spray the piece with a very thin primer. Here we're going to do the Nubian. And again, it's the exact same technique. I just wanted to show you what it looked like on the different paperweight sculptures. As you can tell, some of the areas are still wet and others are rapidly drying. The more matte the areas, the more rapidly those areas are absorbing the stain. The different areas of the casting will absorb the stain at different rates, which will end up with some nice variations and modeling on the finished piece. It will give it added depth. You will need a brush, latex gloves, mini wax, and a final coating of clear urethane. Here ends Step 1. Thank you for joining us.